CoQ10. That's your heart protective enzyme. So someone has a heart attack, goes on cholesterol-lowering medication to prevent a heart attack, they can actually be increasing the risk of heart attack. There is no research to show that Crestor and Lipitor prevent heart disease. Did you know that?
Did you know that, according to the World Health Organization, heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, claiming an estimated 17.9 million lives each year? That's right, millions are quietly grappling with this silent threat, unsure when it might strike. And if you're thinking surgery is the way out, think again. The average cost of a heart bypass procedure in the U.S. is around $123,000, an amount that many find themselves unprepared for, let alone the physical toll. But don't worry just yet. In this video, Barbara O'Neill, a health and wellness expert known for uncovering simple solutions to complex health issues, will reveal how you can fight back against heart disease and other cardiovascular conditions. Therefore, if you're ready to discover natural heart solutions that could protect and enhance your heart system without the hefty bill or anxiety, type "I am ready" in the comments section below. Done that? Thanks. So, let's dive in.
Especially the magnesium. Now, there is one drink that leaches the magnesium and the calcium out of the body, and that is caffeine. Now, there was a bit of a groan last night when I mentioned this one. I call it Australia's darling. Is it New Zealand's darling too? What's a darling? Something they love. And it's very, very effective at leaching the calcium and the magnesium out of the body. And most people don't realise that coffee is a huge contributing factor to dehydration, to heart malfunction, and also to imbalance in heartbeats. So there are some things that have to stop if you want to keep the heart withal diligent, and one of them is caffeine, because of the way it leaches the magnesium out of the body. And as you can see by what I just described, magnesium is so important. Anyone that comes to me with high blood pressure, we do quite a few changes, but we always supplement with magnesium because it keeps that heart muscle at rest. You see, your systolic is your high point and your diastolic is your bottom one. It relaxes that diastolic and brings it down a little bit. And the Celtic salt can do that. But how often are people with high blood pressure told to what? No salt.
You might be thinking, it's just a cup of coffee. What harm could that possibly do to my heart? But the truth about caffeine is darker than you might expect. Before you sip on that next latte, let me tell you what's really going on. It's not just about the energy boost or the wake-up call you're craving. Caffeine is silently working behind the scenes, stripping your body of vital minerals like magnesium and calcium, both essential for keeping your heart in check. What you probably don't realize is that caffeine does more than just keep you awake. It digs deep, depleting the stores of magnesium in your body, a mineral crucial for regulating your heartbeat and ensuring that your heart functions smoothly. And here's where the danger lies. Without enough magnesium, your heart is left vulnerable as it's more prone to irregular heartbeats, malfunctions, and even high blood pressure. But that's not all. Caffeine is also a powerful diuretic, meaning it causes dehydration, which places even more stress on your cardiovascular system. Research published by the National Library of Medicine suggests that caffeine may likely act as a trigger of cardiovascular disease, among younger individuals in particular. And as expected, there was a shift in odds ratio for subjects younger than 50 years of age, with slow metabolizers showing a more pronounced risk of heart attack. So, before you reach for that next cup of joe, think about what your heart really needs. At the very end of this video, we will reveal some simple yet powerful alternatives to help restore the magnesium and other nutrients your heart craves. But first, let's finish analyzing the products you need to avoid for a healthy heart.
Refined sugar is dangerous. It clogs up the arteries. It makes the blood very, very sticky. And you can get so many delicious sweeteners like honey and maple syrup and even the coconut sugars. There's no need to go to the refined sugar. Alcohol is Bad news on the heart. And tobacco. They must stop if you want heart health.
Barbara has an interesting theory. Your small, everyday habits may be silently sabotaging your heart health. Think about it. Those seemingly harmless indulgences, like sugary snacks, refined carbohydrates, and even alcohol, might be quietly putting your heart at risk. Let's take refined sugar, for example. Barbara points out that it's not just a sweet treat. This processed sugar thickens your blood, making it sticky and causing blockages in your arteries. As your blood becomes harder to pump, your heart faces increased pressure, slowly wearing it down. And refined carbohydrates? These spike your blood sugar levels, which triggers inflammation, a major contributor to heart disease. And over time, these habits can lead to clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and heart attacks. But that's not all. Alcohol and tobacco, often consumed in social settings or as a way to relax, are even more harmful than you might think. Alcohol inflames your arteries, while tobacco clogs them up, making it harder for blood to flow freely. Your heart works harder than it should, leaving it vulnerable to serious conditions like hypertension and heart failure. Barbara emphasizes that it's not all doom and gloom, though. The good news is that there are natural, healthier alternatives to refined sugars, such as honey, maple syrup, and coconut sugar. So, before you reach for that sugary treat, ask yourself, is the momentary pleasure worth the long-term risk to your heart?
Another no is not fat, but it's wheat. Why wheat? Well, when the hybridization process of making the wheat, the gluten or protein structure of wheat was changed. So originally, wheat was inkhorn. No, I don't think that I should be there. I think that I should be there. Inkhorn wheat, that was the original wheat, and it had a very fragile structure. And that fragile protein or gluten structure means very easy to be broken down, so easy to be broken down in the grind, in the cooking, in the chewing, in your digestive enzymes. And it is not sure when, but a few thousand years ago, there was a field hybrid with another wild grass that produced emmer wheat. And emmer wheat is not quite as fragile, but it is still fairly fragile. And it is the emmer wheat that went through the intensive crossbreeding. So the hybridized wheat that was hybridized in the 50s went worldwide in the 70s. So by the 1990s, in New Zealand, in Australia, in America, every pasta, every wheat, every cereal, every donut, cake, etc., is made of the hybridized wheat. And that structure of that hybridized wheat is incredibly complex. Very difficult for the gut to break down.
Barbara has a compelling view of wheat, and her perspective might make you rethink that morning toast. Wheat as we know it today isn't what it used to be. The original wheat, called einkorn wheat, had a fragile gluten structure, making it easy for your body to break down during digestion. However, as Barbara explains, over time, wheat went through a process called hybridization, where it was crossbred with other grasses to improve crop yields. So a new complex form of gluten that's much harder for your body to digest was formed, which contributed to the rise in gluten intolerance, sensitivity, heart diseases, and even rising blood pressure from consuming it.
Can you still buy the original? You can buy spelt and you can buy kamut. And spelt and kamut have the same structure of the emmer. So you can still buy that. You can still buy spelt and kamut. You can buy it as pasta, you can buy it as bread. Celiac, who are severe intolerance, often they can't even handle the spelt or the kamut. But often gluten sensitive or gluten intolerant can. Now, if that hybridized wheat was made into a sourdough bread, because of the culturing process, it breaks down the gluten structure to make it a little bit more fragile. And if spelt is made into sourdough bread, it can bring it back to that original structure of the einkorn wheat. Now, if someone eats wheat and they have an intolerance to it, do you know it can get that blood pressure up? So blood pressure can be caused by wheat. So how do you know what you are? I've got a challenge for you. Stop it for 2 months, see what happens.
So here's the twist. Barbara mentions that not all wheat is created equal. You can still find spelt and kamut, two forms of wheat with structures closer to the original einkorn. These varieties are easier on your digestive system, and when fermented into sourdough, the culturing process can help break down the gluten further, making it even gentler on your gut. We've explored the various causes of heart and other cardiovascular diseases. Now let's explore more remedies in detail based on the insight of Barbara O'Neill.
Fruit salad, you're getting some moisture there, but that water must be replaced. Keeping the heart with all diligence, those muscles need water because out of it are the issues of life, and the best blood thinner is water.
Barbara is right. Staying hydrated is crucial for your heart's health, serving as a fundamental element that keeps everything running smoothly. When your body is deprived of water, it can lead to serious consequences for your cardiovascular system. Without adequate hydration, your blood becomes thick and sticky, which can strain your heart and lead to problems like high blood pressure and irregular heartbeats. You might be wondering, how much water do you really need? The answer is straightforward. At least 2 liters a day. To keep your heart and other vital organs functioning at their best, it's essential to replenish water loss through urine, sweat, and even breathing. Without it, you may be feeling fatigued or sluggish. But that's not all! Did you know that, to help this water reach your heart cells effectively, you actually need to add just a tiny pinch of whole salt? Yes, that's right. And here's what Barbara recommends.
But for us to access that water, we need sodium. Sodium in the form of whole salt. Now, let's have a look at the highest concentration of sodium on the planet is seawater. So seawater contains 92 minerals, and of those 92 minerals, 30% is made up of sodium and 50% is made up of chloride. Now, because they make up the largest amount of the minerals in the seawater, the first crystals formed when the water is evaporated from seawater is sodium chloride. And so what man does is he scoops that up, bleaches it white, puts aluminium with it so it runs freely. There's your table salt. And your table salt is a dangerous salt. It only has 2 minerals, sodium chloride. And if you were to inject sodium chloride straight into the veins, you would kill the person. They're very harsh minerals, those two. They need to be buffered with all the other minerals. The salt that we use is Celtic salt, and Celtic salt has 82 minerals. Where are the other 10? Well, they're in such proportion, barely measurable, that it's inevitable that they're lost in the evaporation process. But hey, 82's a lot closer to 92, isn't it? Now, in that Celtic salt, there are 3 magnesiums.
Barbara is absolutely right. Celtic salt contains sodium, chloride, and all the vital minerals, including various forms of magnesium, which are vital for the heart and numerous bodily functions. Sodium and magnesium play critical roles in maintaining your heart health and overall well-being. Sodium, particularly in the form of whole salt, is essential for your body to access and retain water. So, what happens if you're not getting enough of these essential minerals? Without adequate magnesium, your heart may struggle to maintain a proper rhythm, and blood pressure can rise due to an imbalance between calcium and magnesium. So the solution is both simple and tasty. Incorporating Celtic salt into your diet can significantly improve your mineral intake and heart health.
The 3 essentials. We touched on this last night. One essential food group is fibre. Fibre is necessary, and we looked at this when we looked at diabetes, because it slowly releases the nutrients, and it's in the fibre part of food where you'll often get a concentration of your nutrients, specifically in the peels. Another essential is protein. Once you take the water out of the body, the next most prominent nutrient is protein. You cannot heal without protein. The new cell is built up with protein, and the other essential is fat. You see, 50% of this membrane around our heart cells is made up of protein, and 50% of the membrane around this heart cell, muscle cell, is made up of fat. But many people stop fat because of cholesterol, am I right? I'm going to give you a break, and after the break, I'm going to show you the whole cholesterol issue. And you might have seen the Catalyst show a couple of years ago where they showed that cholesterol does not cause heart disease. And I do have room to write this. There is a book you can get, and you might like to write this down. It's an e-book called The Cholesterol Lie by Dr. Dwight Lundell. Now, Dr. Dwight Lundell is a cardiovascular surgeon, and he has performed 10,000 bypasses. Notice the book that he's written, The Cholesterol Lie, showing that cholesterol is not what causes heart disease. There's another book called The Great Cholesterol Deception by Dr. Peter Dingle. He's from Perth. And if you looked at the show on Catalyst, I don't know whether anyone looked at it on iView, last August, Fat or Fiction, it shows there that cholesterol is a non-issue. Cholesterol does not cause heart disease. Time that's a person's supposed to be eating highly nourishing food. So where's your fibre? All your plant food, plant-based have fibre, your whole foods. Where's your protein? Your protein is found in your legumes, your lentils, chickpeas, lima beans, tofu, only if it's organic, nuts and seeds. And where's your fats, your nuts and your seeds, and also your coconut oil?
Barbara emphasizes the importance of a balanced diet, focusing on 3 essential food groups: fiber, protein, and healthy fats. Fiber is crucial for heart health as it slows digestion and promotes steady nutrient absorption, supporting the heart system. Additionally, fiber is often found in the nutrient-dense peels of fruits and vegetables. Protein is vital for healing and building new cells, which helps maintain strong muscles, including the heart muscle. Without enough protein, your body, including your heart, can't repair itself effectively. And healthy fats are just as essential, supporting heart function, brain health, and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins.
Butter, why we were wrong on the fat. And it was about a 6-page article, and it addressed all the research that had been done or quoted in the 80s, saying fat was bad, showing that all this research was flawed research. It's not the fat. Fat is not the problem. And when someone has a heart attack, or someone has a bit of a build-up and a potential to heart attack, what do they put on? Cholesterol-lowering medication, yeah? Well, your liver is the organ that makes cholesterol. And what this medication does, 2 of the most popular are Lipitor and Crestor, they block the pathway in the liver that the liver uses to make cholesterol, thus stopping the body making so much cholesterol. But that pathway is also the pathway that the liver uses to make coenzyme Q10. Have you heard of coenzyme Q10? That's your heart protective enzyme. So someone has a heart attack, goes on cholesterol-lowering medication to prevent a heart attack, they can actually be increasing the risk of heart attack. There is no research to show that Crestor and Lipitor prevent heart disease. Did you know that?
Many people avoid fats due to misconceptions about cholesterol, but understanding its role is essential. Cholesterol itself isn't the issue. It actually helps the body produce vitamin D, which the heart and other vital organs rely on. Therefore, to ensure a healthy heart, Barbara advocates for a diet rich in healthy fats and whole foods, emphasizing plant-based fibers, legumes, and nuts. These nutrient-rich foods provide the building blocks for cellular repair and maintenance, allowing the heart to heal properly. But that's not all. Barbara emphasizes the necessity of omega-3 fatty acids for heart health. They work like a shield, decreasing inflammation and regulating cholesterol levels, which are major factors for a healthy heart. Foods like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts are excellent sources. According to the American Health Association, omega-3 fatty acids may also increase compliance of arteries, decrease atherosclerosis through their effects on metabolism, and reduce inflammatory markers in the body. If you're enjoying this video so far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening content like this. Done that? Awesome! Now let's look at the heart-healing herbs.
Do 2-3 times a day. Do 4-3 times a day. It's very, very safe. You see, if you don't turn the tap off, you're still going to be mopping up in the other corner. That's why these things must be implemented. You must keep that heart with all diligence. So the hawthorn berry, if your blood pressure's too high, it'll bring it down. If it's too low, it'll bring it up.
Hawthorn is Barbara's top herb for heart health. Known to regulate heartbeat, hawthorn is especially beneficial if you've felt the effects of caffeine, sugar, or stress. Hawthorn berry is safe and natural, and it can be taken daily to support long-term heart health.
Down. If it's too low, it'll bring it up. The other herb is cayenne pepper. Now, cayenne pepper is one of the most powerful blood thinners that there is. About 15 years ago, at our health retreat in Melbourne, the chef was giving a cooking class to 15 guests, and I got a call. Lady had a heart attack. She was about 80. She'd already had a couple that year of minor ones. So I ran. I was at the health centre in 3 minutes. The guests are standing round, terrified, of course. The lady's on the ground. She's totally pale. She was half conscious. A guy was holding a pulse. He said, the pulse is almost gone. I said, quick, get the cayenne pepper. I quickly got half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper and put it in her mouth. She was half conscious. I said, give me a bit of water. She was able to drink a little. And it must have been 2 minutes, and the guy holding a pulse yelled out, the pulse is strong. I looked at this lady. All the colour had came into her face, and she sat up and said, what happened? It was absolutely incredible. I'd read about it, but now I saw for myself. And everyone standing round was going, whoa. I said, no, it's not me, it's the cayenne pepper. Rolled out of cayenne pepper, that program. Everyone was absolutely amazed. What did it do to that lady? What it did to that lady, now remember it takes 1 minute for 1 drop of blood to go right round your whole body. And when we put the cayenne pepper in her mouth, the sublingual glands under her tongue immediately absorbed that cayenne pepper. So it took 1 minute to go around the body, and when that cayenne pepper went into the blood, it thinned the blood. It opened all the little capillaries and got a powerful delivery of blood.
Barbara emphasizes the importance of using high-quality cayenne pepper, noting that it should be bright orange color rather than brown, indicating freshness. You can incorporate cayenne pepper into your daily meals, such as sprinkling it on sourdough toast with olive oil and avocado, or taking it with water.
Same things help them both. Now, there is something else that is a very powerful blood thinner, and that is ginger. And you can have ginger as a tea. One of my favourite teas is to finely grate ginger and pour boiling water on it. That makes a delicious tea. Very sparky. If it's too sparky for you, just water it down a bit. And ginger is also not only a blood thinner, but it's a very potent anti-inflammatory.
The next heart remedy is ginger. Ginger isn't just a culinary spice, it's a heart protective powerhouse. Its anti-inflammatory properties make it an effective blood thinner, reducing the risk of blood clots and helping to maintain a steady blood flow. But that's not all. According to research published by the National Library of Medicine, the cardioprotective effects of ginger are attributed to its cardiotonic, anti-hypertensive, anti-hyperlipidemic, and antiplatelet properties.
Garlic has been studied for about 20 years now on the wonders or the wonderful effect it has on the heart.
Garlic is another heart saver, and according to research published by the National Library of Medicine, garlic and its preparations have been widely recognized as agents for the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular and other metabolic diseases, including atherosclerosis, hyperlipidemia, thrombosis, hypertension, and diabetes.
Down quickly when it's had so much stimulation through the eyes. Now, there is a hydrotherapy treatment that can boost heart function, and it can also boost the blood moving through the body, and that is cold. So what I suggest is you have your hot shower. I'm very kind to suggest your hot shower, but always end with about a 10 to 20 seconds cold.
It's not just what you eat, your lifestyle plays a big role too. Barbara O'Neill suggests ending a hot shower with a cold bath to exercise the heart. Additionally, she recommends getting a good night's sleep.
And for the people who were here last night, so we can recap it, interval training, as the name implies, is intervals of high intensity and intervals of recovery, and it's usually done for a cycle.
High-intensity interval training is another powerful heart-strengthening remedy recommended by Barbara O'Neill. According to research published by Science Direct, high-intensity interval training improves oxygen consumption, ejection fraction, and quality of life in patients with heart failure. All right, I hope we've busted all those myths about heart diseases and served up some solid heart remedies from the one and only Barbara O'Neill. Comment below with what surprised you the most about this video. But if you still have doubts, drop them in the comments and we'll resolve them. And before you head off, don't forget to show some love, like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon so you never miss out on more awesome health tips.